We're live? You're live, Paul. Paul ate tacos last night for dinner.
Yeah, he did.
Free tacos.
Free tacos?
Well, yeah, from Doritos Locos Tacos from the thing.
Wait, you got Doritos Locos for free?
What did you get?
Regular tacos?
No.
Yeah.
You got gypped. You're supposed to get Doritos Locos. All right, we're talking about that too. All right, I'm gonna share this out there. We're both clashing right now.
I think they were regular. I didn't eat them. Houston ate them.
Oh, well,
So
they're Doritos Locos.
They could have been Doritos.
Yeah. What was that? Ooh. Wait, hang on. Cancel that. I'm gonna put this on Twitter if you'll go share it after, and you got to share it on Facebook too. The Facebook Live. Por favor, please.
I'm just looking at this guy's
pitch
sequence.
You're watching
it's
college
so
baseball.
Stupid, though.
Why is it so stupid?
His pitch sequence is so dumb. He made him look like an idiot on 2 breaking balls. Then he tries to throw a 5-ball heater up, and he misses. Guy hits a double. Next pitch, heater again, another double. Now Auburn's got the tie-in run at the plate.
I mean, do you think that it's the pitching coach who stinks?
No, I think the kid didn't execute his pitch. It's the kid's fault.
You didn't execute your pitch. But heater's still a heater if you wanted to throw something other than that.
I would have bounced a breaking ball. He looked like an idiot.
I'd have bounced it. So maybe it's the coach calling a heater.
Could be. Or the kid could have thrown it where the coach called it. He threw it right down the middle like a moron.
Maybe that's where the coach wanted it. Maybe the coach is a moron. You ever think about that?
It's never the coach's fault.
Sometimes.
Always the player's fault.
Sometimes.
Always the player.
Man, you just stepped in a giant pilot. It happens. What? Sometimes. That's from Forrest Gump. Do you remember that movie?
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay. Are you ready to start?
Yep.
Let's see if anybody's watching yet. Ronnie Dugas, what's up?
What's up, Ronnie?
Shelby Kelly, what's up? Nicholas Black, what's up? Matthew Rogelio, Paul O'Neill's watching.
Yeah, he is.
Ellen Gilmore, what's up?
What's up, Ellen?
Ellen said go Canes.
That's right.
Mark Chambers, what's up? All right, y'all hit the share button, man. Please hit the share, help us out. Let's do this. Let's kick this pig. Yerd, are you ready?
Yep.
Here we go. Nope. You know what I got to do first? I got to plug the... Who unplugged this thing?
You got to plug it in. Got to plug it in.
You got to plug it in. It's plugged in.
Why isn't it working?
It's going to be on headphones. Headphones. Boom. Let's see if that works, Paulie. I mean, doggone it.
Look at that guy's hair.
I don't get it. Like this thing.
Oh, I just heard something.
What? No. I know you did. God.
One is an athlete, the other an athletic supporter.
What are you doing, you idiot thing? Whatever.
Just put it halfway in. It works when you put it halfway in.
What the hell, man?
At least that's what I heard.
That's not funny.
Look, put the thing halfway in the hole. Right there. Can I do it? Can I put it halfway in? Let me try.
Wait, stop. Wait, oh. Stop. This sucks.
You mean put it all the way in?
Studio works. Whatever. Let's just do this stupid podcast. Not worry about the open. I'm so pissed right now about that. Why does nothing ever work around here?
I like to blame everything on T-Bob. I think it's T-Bob's fault.
Well, I wasn't the one who messed up all this stuff. Stupid. All right. Okay, let's go. Riot Podcast. Matt, Ryan, we're back. Thanks for showing up today.
Yeah, man.
Glad you did.
I'm fired up about today. This is going to be great. It'll be a great podcast.
Oh, wait, hang on. All right, I think it might have worked this time.
All right, let's do it.
All right, hang on.
This is the Riot Podcast with Matt Moscona and Ryan Terrio. One is an athlete, the other an athletic supporter. Follow the guys on Twitter at Matt Moscona and at rterrio7. Here's Matt and Ryan.
Yeah!
Yes.
Paul had to do the whole open again with like the slow pan. Looks really good though, Paulie. Paul O'Neill, video producer on Maddie's Ryan. Doesn't it feel better when you add the intro?
It does. Feels real.
It's your launch point.
It's real.
It's what shoots you out of the cannon.
It does.
You shoot out of the cannon, so you just fall out of the cannon.
I like that.
Matters. There's some people listening to this right now, edited down, going like, what are they talking about? So I should leave in the whole thing where we started and it didn't work with the music and everything.
You should.
Okay, I'll leave that in there. Okay, we're back. We'll do some kick rocks in a little bit because I know you prep kick rocks, right?
No.
Got it. I do want to talk about good bunting and bad bunting today. We'll get into that. But I got to start today with a couple of former Tigers in the bigs, and I'm fired up for. Let's start with Austin Nola, who, for those that missed it, made his Major League debut on Sunday in his first at-bat as a big leaguer. They were playing in Oakland, so on Father's Day, gets the call-up, goes from Tacoma down to Oakland. He's playing for the Mariners against the A's in his first Major League at-bat. He takes a pitch inside, and he ends up punching it through the right side of the infield. It dribbles past the second baseman. So first Major League at-bat, Austin Nola gets a hit. In his second, so he went 1 for 2, and then in his second day, he was 1 for 3, had a couple of strikeouts, but he did get another hit. So he's batting 400 through 2 games. He also had a SportsCenter top 10 play, playing first base. There was a bunt, by the way. Never bunt. We'll talk about more bunts in a second. But this bunt gets shot down the first baseline when they're playing Kansas City, and this ended up on SportsCenter top 10. Austin Nola ends up diving into foul territory to make the play. So I'm pumped for him. He persevered through a lot. He's into his 8th minor league season now and finally gets the call up. You tweeted over the weekend that you had heard, rumors. So clearly you knew that he was getting called up.
Yeah.
So give me your take here.
I mean, when anytime somebody spends that long in the minor leagues, it says a lot. I mean, I was there for 3.5, 4 years, and I can just tell you toward the end, I mean, it was an absolute grind, and you contemplate hanging it up every single time. I wasn't ever added to the 40-man. So when you look at a guy like Nola, who's gone through 3 position changes, you go from shortstop, a middle infield guy, let's say shortstop, second base, to like a corner guy, first or third, like the second year in, then to catcher as an experiment just to see. And really, when he moved to catcher, they had a couple injuries. So it was like, can anybody catch? Nola, yeah, sure, I can.
I'll do it.
I'll put the gear on. And turned himself into a really good catcher. From a value standpoint, if I'm managing a team, now you've got a guy that can play all over the field defensively and brings a ton of value on that side. Offensively, though, if you look at how his swing has changed, now we get a chance to see him on TV. I know it's hard in the minor leagues, but if you look at how his swing has changed from, let's just say, his time at LSU to right now, he looks like a totally different guy. I mean, he's upright. He's got some rhythm. It's barrel to the ball, where when he was at LSU, everything was stiff and hands were low, and it just wasn't a very productive swing. So that thing has gotten better and better and better as you go. And that's the baseball side. I can just say mentally, a guy that sticks it out like that for that long and then finally gets the call, it is an unbelievable feeling. And you see he's with a team as well that's going to give him a chance to play. A lot of times those guys get called up like that at the end of a season in September, and it's almost like a thank you for sticking this out. We're going to give you a cup of coffee, and then you're going to get released next year. I don't see that happening with him. I mean, it's almost as if they have a plan for him, and he's a guy that could stick around for a few years and go up there and really bring some value to a club. So knowing the family and his brother and all that stuff, it's great, but just seeing the way the kid stuck with it, it is so easy to come back home after a season in AAA and have a couple jobs lined up and go, man, I could, make a good living here in Baton Rouge, or I can go do this minor league thing again and make peanuts. Like, It's just, man, it's hard to do, bro. And kudos to him for sticking with it.
Especially you talk about All-America at LSU. He earned All-America honors. He's a 5th-round pick. You know, that's if a franchise invests a 5th-round pick in you, they've invested a resource to where they're going to give you a shot, right? I mean, to get some ABs and try to climb through their organization.
Absolutely.
But as you mentioned, position changes, stuck it out, parts of 6 full seasons, played rookie ball back in 12 after he got drafted, then 6 full seasons. Now, this was his 8th minor league season, and finally gets the call. So you said you think he stays. Why?
Because of his ability to play all over the place. I mean, if this is a guy that is serviceable behind the plate, they can give you a professional at bat, they can play middle infield, they can play corners, they can play outfield. You know, I look at Ben Zobrist with the Cubs, and now Zobrist handles the bat a little bit better. But there's guys on these rosters now in the big leagues where they want them to be able to play multiple positions. It allows the manager to really be flexible with his pitching staff. When you have a guy that could be a second catcher, but could also be a backup outfielder and also be a backup infielder, it allows you to add another pitcher to your roster. Because, you know, these guys are limited 25-man roster. With the inception of 5th inning guy, 6th inning guy, 7th inning guy, 8th inning guy, 9th inning guy, the utility player becomes much more valuable. Now I don't have to take up those roster spots with position players. I can add more pitchers because I'm using more pitchers during the game. So, I mean, they're a commodity. The utility guy is a commodity nowadays. Now, if you throw in the ability that he can get behind the plate, I mean, that makes him even more valuable.
The other thing offensively that's interesting is the fact that he was hitting 327 in AAA. This is a guy who, throughout his career, just last year in New Orleans, hit 279. You're talking about almost 50 points higher.
Right.
So, I mean, is it just his stance? I mean, what's changed for Austin where all of a sudden now he goes into AAA, he's hitting 327, and at the big league level so far he's 2 for 6. Yeah. He's got a run scored.
I mean, it could be something as simple as hand positioning or width of your stance or approach or location of your hands in your stance. There could be one that he could have gone to the eye doctor and had his eyes checked. It is as simple as just one little tweak or one little change, or it could be something mentally that he's thinking differently as far as the way he approaches his at bats. I mean, it could be a number of things. I don't know. What I see when I watched him the other night and got his first hit, which was great, it looked like a different hitter. He looked more relaxed. He looked more upright. And it was a direct, straight path to the baseball. He was down on the ball. He shot a ball to right field for his first hit. Man, some guys just they figure it out. Look, I've had multiple coaches tell me when they started coaching and hitting ground balls every day to their infielders, they were better hitters at that point because they swung the bat so much every day and they had to find the barrel with the ball because you're trying to hit it in a certain spot. So hitting a baseball is a skill. It's something that can be developed over time, and the more at bats you get, you should get better and better and better. Because you're honing that skill. Now there are some that are just naturally really good, but I mean, I look at him and go, he's gotten a little bit better every year. I'd love to hear what he did different. Because you're right, 50 points is a big difference. Now, I felt like I was a better hitter in the major leagues than I was in the minor leagues because of the intangible stuff. Like the balls were really, really white. The lighting at the stadiums were very good, so you could see the ball better. I wasn't traveling overnight on a bus and having to play a day game the next day, so the things that affected my vision or just the way my body felt, it was all perfect in the major leagues. Where in the minor leagues, that's a grind. I mean, you're sleeping cramped up on a bus next to a guy, and then you got to hop out of the thing and go hit, and the stadium sucks, and the balls stink, and the bats aren't very good, and you don't have any video to prepare for the pitcher. But in the big leagues, and you've got everything that you need to have success. So, that could be helping him as well.
All right. The other guy I wanted to talk about was DJ LeMahieu. And LeMahieu, of course, was drafted by the Cubs. He had a great career at LSU, was a third-round draft pick of the Cubs. And sort of bided his time. Only played one season with the Cubs in 2011. And played in 37 games that year. And then ends up in Colorado, where he had a really good run from 12 to 18, including winning a batting title in 2016 when he hit 348. Well, LeMahieu ends up with the Yankees this year, and admittedly, I've just gotten to see him a lot because I watched a lot of the Yankees. And with all of the injuries that team has had, when you look at Gregorius being on the shelf because of Tommy John, Judge on the shelf, who's now coming back, Giancarlo Stanton played in his first game yesterday back with the Yankees in a driving rainstorm. They traded for Encarnacion just to add more offense. Like, the reason they're holding it together right now, and not holding it together, they're in first place, is because of DJ LeMahieu. I mean, I'm oversimplifying it, and it's odd also because they don't have a great deep pitching staff right now either. But there was a headline at NJ.com, and the headline read, Mickey Mantle, Joe DiMaggio, Lou Gehrig, and DJ LeMahieu, how Yankees infielders on pace to join legends in the record books. And they cite a stat from Jason Stark at The Athletic, and there are only 5 Yankees in the live ball era that have hit 400 or better with runners in scoring position over the course of a season when they got 60 or more plate appearances. So understand, runner in scoring position, only 5 times in the live ball era has a player hit 400 or better. Mickey Mantle did it in 1956. Paul O'Neill did it in 1997. DiMaggio did it in 1940. Gehrig did it in 1927. And then Don Mattingly did it in 1984. That's it. And right now, DJ LeMahieu, with runners in scoring position, is hitting 460. Of course, now I'm trying to find it, and I don't have it right in front of my face. Anyway, he's hitting 474, which is better than all the guys prior I mentioned. The best was Paul O'Neill, who hit 428 in 1997. By the way, Mantle and DiMaggio both won the MVP in their seasons.
That's doing damage.
So why is DJ LeMahieu not at this point a household name, especially considering he plays for the most famous organization in American professional sports?
I think that the fact that he was in Colorado is hurting him. If he had been in a different market, L.A., Chicago, Boston, he would be more well-known right now. We know what he did in Colorado because he went to LSU. And he wasn't known for his bat, although he did win a Silver Slugger or 2, I think, when he was there.
In 16, he won the batting title.
But it was the Gold Gloves, and it was the defense, I think, that people really talked about a little bit with him. Now you're seeing it all kind of come together. To your question, like, why isn't he being talked about? It's because of where he is. It's because it's New York. It's because
that doesn't make sense. Wouldn't it be the other, because he's in New York, people would talk about him?
There's still bigger names. There's bigger personalities. There's Giancarlo Stanton. There's Aaron Judge. There's those guys that are there, and it's kind of overshadowed him. I think it's coming. I mean, I think he's going to have his day. But he's the very unassuming, put a microphone in his face, it's going to be dull, it's going to be bland. Like, he's just not that guy, but you put him on the field, and the guy just produces. Bro, listen to me. To hit 460 with runners in scoring position, if he carries that clip out throughout the end of the year, he's 120, 130 RBIs. I mean, that's doing major damage. And it's a credit to just not trying to do too much when guys are in score position. You almost have to pat the guys on the back in front of them getting on base so much as well. I mean, that is an art. Sticking to your approach when that happens. I couldn't be more proud of the guy, but he's not doing anything different than he was doing in Colorado, man. I mean, look, this is what he's done throughout his career. DJ LeMahieu can freaking hit. I mean, flat out swing the bat. He's going to finish his big league career with, maybe the most decorated LSU player, assuming, depending on what Bregman does ever.
Yeah, well, Bregman for sure is pacing right there. But LeMahieu, right, as far as all-star voting, Tommy La Stella is first among second basemen from the Angels. Jose Altuve, who's missed like 30 games, is second, and then LeMahieu is third. Like, LeMahieu is third behind a guy who hadn't even played this year. I mean, it's disappointing that he's not, and that's why I'm sure you. Do you rail on all-star voting as well?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think it's a joke. Now the players do get to vote though. There's some player votes there, and then they have the last 3 in thing, which is a joke though as well. But I'm pretty sure the players would vote DJ LeMahieu in when you go in and look at his stats. And then the manager gets to add guys too. So I think the manager gets maybe 2 or 3 guys that he can add. There's a player vote. But the fan vote thing, yeah, man, I mean, it's a joke. And you don't and look, there's financial gains for this too for these guys. I mean, there's all-star bonuses that are in there, so it just kind of makes it even more stupid.
I'm sure for LeMahieu, he would like you said, DJ's very unassuming. And I've tried to hunt down DJ over the last month or so. It's hard to get him through the Yankees, and he's not on social media. He has an Instagram account, but he doesn't post like ever. So, and he's not on Facebook, he's not on Twitter. Like he's not a very public guy. So he doesn't go pound his chest or be very vocal, but his play right now is incredible. And I mean, he's pacing an offense right now that's leading the most famous division in the most famous city in sports. I mean, it's incredible what he's doing, and I think even if nationally people aren't going to talk about LeMahieu, I think we should be doing our part and recognizing the fact that this guy's incredible, and LSU fans should be proud of him, should be taking notice.
He's been incredible for a long time.
I understand that. But even amid his best seasons, like we mentioned 2016, when he hit 348, he hit 301 in 15, he hit the 348 season in 16, and then he hit 310 in 17. Right now he's at 313, but he came in the league at 262. He hit 250, 297, 280, 267. So good, not great seasons out the chute. Good, not great. Then he had the back-to-back 300 seasons, and then last year he had 276 in Colorado, and of course then he goes and signs with the Yankees, and he's blown up this year. So he had a good run in Colorado for about 3 years.
No, he had a great run.
Yeah. Back-to-back seasons hitting over 300, yes. Okay,
and winning Gold Gloves.
And winning Gold Gloves.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about the offense. I'm talking about the offense. This year, even still, it feels very different, not only because he's playing for a winning team as well, and he's the guy on a team among a bunch of dudes. He's the guy that's pacing that offense.
Yeah. And maybe in Colorado, though, because toward the end there, you had Blackman and Story, I guess, the shortstop, but he was young. But I guess DJ was kind of the elder statesman, and probably got a lot of the attention from the opposing teams. Now in New York, that might be a little bit different. He could be, teams could be game planning, not necessarily to get him, but to get the other guys. But I guess to that point, the other guys are hurt.
They've been hurt.
So who's there? I mean, who do you? Hicks, Brett Gardner? I don't know.
Right.
There's really nobody.
That's a great transition, by the way, because Brett Gardner did a stupid thing recently when he fired a helmet against the bat rack. It bounced right off, hit him in the mouth. He got stitches. Yeah. Why'd you love it?
Because it was really funny.
Oh, it's funny. You didn't love that he did it. It was kind of a stupid thing to do.
I like it when guys fire helmets in the dugout or any equipment, and it hits one of their teammates.
Did that ever happen when you played?
Yeah, that used to always happen.
Did you do it?
No. I never hit anybody. I would fire my stuff, though.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You never hit anybody. Who got hit? Give me a story.
I don't have any one particular story. I don't remember, but I just remember seeing it happen, and I just thought it was hilarious.
And nobody ever, lashed out?
Yeah, because if you get hit, you're pissed, obviously, that you just got hit.
Right.
But the other guy's probably more pissed than you are at that point. So then you got to make a decision whether you want to challenge his pissedness or not.
Yeah.
If that's a word. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think it's great. I love it.
Depends who it is. Like if it's a big guy, if it's Zambrano, I'm not going after him. If it's you, I might go after you.
Yeah, but I'm so pissed at that point.
Yeah.
And you're probably pissed for me. Like you're pissed that I got out, and you're pissed because you're my teammate, and you're pissed
that I got hit.
You're pissed that I got out. You're pissed that I'm pissed because you wanted me to get a hit because you're my teammate and you care about me. But then you're pissed because you just got hit.
Yeah.
So it's like, does the two pissed offedness scenarios counteract your pissed offedness scenario? And
right.
I don't know. And I would have to think.
But then I think you weigh in the other variable, which is the fact that I'm bigger than you. So like me at 75% pissed offedness probably still is greater than you at 100% pissed offedness. Now, I'm assuming me being a professional athlete at my size compared to you. That's sometimes not like me because I'm, not very athletic and, in your prime, we were scrapping, you'd probably take me sort of thing. You know what I mean? Me. But if it was a professional athlete, me. Like
size probably has
who's
something.
a guy that looked like me on your squad?
You're probably like a. I mean, pitchers look.
Relief, like a relief pitcher. But then again, we know relief pitchers don't do anything. They just run from the dugout and waste time when there's fights in baseball.
Yeah,
and they run from the dugout.
Like a Clay Hensley type.
Was he a tough guy?
He was a good friend of mine.
Was he tough?
Probably.
You just never know. See, because relief pitchers don't fight. Nobody in baseball fights.
It's hard to tell if there's tough guys in baseball.
You realize the fact that over 30 years we've talked about 2 punches in baseball?
Yeah.
Robin Ventura getting punched by Nolan Ryan, and Rougned Odor punching Jose Bautista. Why? Because it was the only 2 punches that were actually thrown in baseball.
Hey, you know what I saw on
and
Facebook
then you got
the other day?
because you know what you got? You got tough guy Pedro Martinez taking 80-year-old Don Zimmer by the head and throwing him down. That's the other thing we've seen, because baseball fights are weak. Nobody fights in baseball. It's a waste of time. Stay your ass in the dugout and leave me alone. Quit wasting my time.
You know what I saw the other day
What'd you see?
on social media? You remember when in 2000 when UL got in a fight with Clemson?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I was on social media. I guess it was the anniversary of the fight.
So that was the College World Series.
Yeah.
And you know what's weird? I remember about that. We were in right field the whole week.
Were you there for the fight?
Oh yeah. I watched every game of that World Series from the first row of right field. Every single game. It was phenomenal. Tommy Clark was the right fielder for ULL, and the right fielder for Clemson was a guy named Justin Singleton, and he was in the midst of that. Like, he's the one who went hard into second and started that whole mess. He was a prick. He was one of the few guys that week who didn't really play. Like, we were friendly with everybody, making signs for him, cheering, and he was the only one who was super super serious and into his feelings.
He went to Clemson.
Yeah, it's like, get out of here, clown.
Nerds.
So then we started booing him. He was the worst.
Yeah, that was a good one, man.
Yeah,
it's a good fight.
And he did cut himself. He cut his elbow sliding. And so, he's behind, he's in front of us, and we're looking at behind, and you can see this blood running down his elbow. And we're yelling to him, "Hey, bro, you're bleeding."
Yeah,
and he's just all pissed off. I'm like, "No, really, your right arm is bleeding, kid."
We're trying to help.
And so then he did that, and he got down to the grass and wiped it off a little bit. It's like, yeah, look, we're not bad people. We're just having some fun here and helping you out.
Yeah.
Don't get all up in your feelings and stuff and things. Now we're gonna do Ask Us here shortly. So if you're watching on the Facebook Live, get your questions in. Ask us anything about anything. Ask Ryan. That's even better. Ask Ryan. Get your questions in. Riot Podcast. By the way, we are available for sponsorship.
We're available.
If you are looking to have your business promoted by the two of us, we will do that here. You can comment here, or you can message me or email me, matt@1045espn.com. Love to talk to you about that possibility. In the meantime, what we're doing is we're shouting out people that we love. And for you, it's your wife.
Yeah.
John Terrio.
Yeah, she did it again. She sold a house.
What?
In one day.
Oh,
yeah.
How many has she sold?
It was less than 24 hours.
Oh, God. Yeah. She's moving.
No, the house was gone in less than 24 hours.
Moving and grooving.
It was unbelievable. How many? I don't know. I can't keep up at this point.
Wow.
The difference is, though, Matt, it's the little things. She calls me this morning. Hey, Ryan, I need your truck because I'm going to pressure wash one of the houses I'm getting ready to list.
That's crazy.
I said, you're getting ready to go do what? She said, I'm going to go pressure wash it. And, I mean, it's just got to be right. It's got to be ready to be shown. And it's just not up to my standards. And I said, I don't think there's many that do that. That's what she does. If you want your house sold, real estate, need help, I mean, this is what she's going to do. She'll cut down trees, change light bulbs, pressure wash your house.
After it.
She gets after it. Now, whether this is a financially smart move or not, I don't know. But I do know.
It's all about her time.
I do know that she's out there grinding.
John Terrio. Give her a call if you want to list your home. Part of the Darren James Associates powered by eXp Realty team. Give John what's John's number?
225-978-6348.
978-6348.
The website, I think, is...
there's the Facebook page Paul just pulled up right there. So you can go to John, JOHNNAH, Terrio, real estate agent. You can check that out there at Agent 225. Is that what it says? Oh, at 225agent, at 225agent on Facebook. And also... brought to you by our friends at Ascension Fence and Deck, Ascension Fence and Deck Supply. My guy Jeff's my brother-in-law, awesome play. If you need a deck, a fence, an outdoor kitchen, any of that stuff done, they can do it for you. A brick fire pit, they do all of that stone work, the masonry. They got you covered. And Ascension Fence and Deck Supply. If you are a contractor and you're buying materials, you might be overpaying for those materials, everything from fence boards to nails and everything in between. Let Jeff and his team shop for you to see if they can get you your materials cheaper. I mean, if they can save you 20, 30 cents per board on cedar fence boards, think about how much money you're saving over the course of jobs throughout the year. It's incredible.
And you know what they say, Matt?
What?
A penny saved is a penny earned.
That is true.
Yeah.
268-9459, 268-9459, Ascension Fence and Deck, and Ascension Fence and Deck Supply. All right, so let's talk about idiot bunters. Max Scherzer, pitcher for the Washington Nationals. If you didn't see this, he's taken some BP the other day, and BP pitcher comes at Max Scherzer. Here comes the pitch, and boom! Right off the chops, man. Broke his nose. Your boy broke his nose after bunting a pitch off of his face. Does this once and for all tell you that bunting is stupid and should never, ever be done?
It's Max Scherzer's fault. He wasn't taking this seriously. He was just kind of goofing off, and now he's got a broken nose to show for it. He didn't square around early. He wasn't even trying. Look, that's what I hate to say the guy deserves a broken nose because nobody deserves a broken nose.
You deserve a broken nose.
But he didn't take it seriously, and I guarantee you next time he squares around a bunt, he's not going to just do that junk.
But you know how you avoid that completely?
Don't bunt.
Don't bunt.
Or if you're Matt Carpenter for the Cardinals, who they had the shift on, or you bunt a double.
Like this. By the way, I fully endorse this. And I've said this for quite some time. And if you missed it the other night, Cardinals are playing Miami. Miami shifts against Carpenter. He drops a bunt down the third baseline. Nobody's there. He gets a double. I love this. And I mentioned this last year because Didi Gregorius did the same thing for the Yankees. When teams would shift against him, he would drop a bunt down the third baseline, and he would take his base. And I very, very much endorse this. I am against bunting and giving up and out to move a runner. If you are getting on base at all, you and I talk about this. It's the merry-go-round.
It is.
Don't be selfish. Your job is to get on,
get the next guy up,
and get the next guy up and keep the merry-go-round going. If someone's going to give you half the field, you take it unapologetically. And you know what? I bet you they're going to stop shifting against him if he keeps dropping down bunts that land him at second base.
How do you feel about the shift?
I hate the shift.
Shift is the worst.
Well, you know what? Well,
I don't think you ever shift your corner guys like that. I think the shift in the middle, like moving the middle guys a little bit, I think smart in a lot of regards. But like, if you ever open up the field like that to a guy, I just think that hitters eventually are going to get good at just hitting the ball over there. You know?
Do you remember last year when we played the Red Rock and Blue celebrity softball game?
I do.
And I came up to bat, and I'm a lefty. And what did they do against me? They all shifted because they assume, oh, this guy's just going to try to crush a homer. Well, we were playing on the big field at Traction, and I had no chance of hitting a homer in that field. I'm just old, don't have the bat speed, wasn't going to happen. Not with a softball. With baseball, yeah. With a softball, wasn't going to happen. So they opened up the whole left side of the infield, and what did your boy do?
You just took your knock.
I went inside out.
Yep.
I went inside out, punched that thing down the third baseline. I took a double. You know what? And I'll take it.
You'll take it. It's a double. Yeah.
Every time.
Slugging percentage goes up, on-base percentage.
Every time I'll take it. And I'm on, and then when the next guy gets up, if it's you or somebody who can hit a homer, guess what? Now it's a two-run homer because I was unselfish.
Yeah.
The thing about the shift that annoys me is not the fact that some teams do it. It's the fact that they can do it because guys keep hitting into the shift. You're a professional hitter, you idiot. You are a professional baseball player. If someone's shifting against you and giving you an entire side of the infield, and you're going to hit it right into the shift, you're an idiot and you should be on the bench.
One of the things that blows my mind about the shift, let's say you are up, okay, and it's a lefty, and they shift everything to the pull side, and then the pitcher throws a fastball away.
Stupid.
It's so dumb.
You're giving him that side of the field.
I see it all the time, though. Right? You have to throw it in or throw a breaking ball. I see it all the time. It's like
stupid.
Everybody's shift, and then you pitch away from the shift. Rich Hill had you probably saw it, my boy Rich. Somebody bunted off of him during the shift, and he lost it on the mound, and then ran in the dugout and was yelling at people after the inning like Rich Hill hates the shift. Anyway, I hate it too.
So he wasn't mad that the guy bunted against him. He was mad at his team for shifting.
He was mad at them for shifting.
Got it. Good for him. I'm good for it. All right, we're going to do Ask Us here coming up in just a second. I feel like there's something else I wanted to do. I forgot. Oh, here's a comment on Facebook Live from Charlie Cavell. He said, "Amen, you only get 27 outs. Don't like giving them away. only but when you absolutely have to late in the game. See, I'll disagree. Late in the game is when you absolutely can't give away an out. Like, you only got a few left. If you're in the 9th inning, you got 3 outs to go, you got to get a run home. I'm not giving up an out in the 9th inning. I got 3 left and the game's over. I'd be more inclined to give up an out in the 1st inning than I would in the 9th inning.
I'll give you a scenario.
All right.
Because I do think there are some scenarios where you should bunt. I'm not big on the square early sack bunt, give yourself up. I'm more of the let's at least try to maybe get a hit out of this thing. But you got who's a really bad hitting pitcher?
Aaron Nola.
You got Aaron Nola up. Okay.
I hated to do it, but I had to.
Man on second, no outs, top of the 9th. You have to get the guy to third base. So a fly ball scores him, wild pitch scores him, all this stuff. Like at that point, I think the sacrifice bunt is a really good play because he's not going to get a hit. He can't control the bat enough to hit a ball the other way. You know what I'm saying? And then the double play kills rallies and kills innings too. So you take that same scenario, even with a guy on first, like the guy hitting's not going to get a hit. If he's one of those guys, which in the National League, there's one on every team, until there's a pinch hit, then and I've seen it too, man, with the double play and it totally destroys everything. But however, I hate pitcher comes set, guy squares around and he just sits there, and then it gives a defense a chance to set up. Like, it should be a bunt for a hit. Worst case scenario, you get a sacrifice out of the deal. But you don't even like that, though, the pitcher bunting. Do you?
Never.
Really?
Bunt. You know what else? This stupid computer screwed up again, and it's not working. I'm trying to get our Ask Ryan music. There we go. Headphones. There we go. Okay. There it is. Got it?
I got it.
Got it. So I was trying to be dramatic for effect there to go to the music. Because here's the thing. What if they boot a ball?
Could happen.
What if he gets it through? What if he makes contact and still gets the runner over? You got a runner on second. Make contact. You give him a third, and maybe it gets through. Maybe they throw the ball into the dugout. There's so many scenarios that could happen.
I agree.
That you eliminate altogether by saying, I'm just going to give up this out. And statistically, it's shown. It doesn't work more than it does. It's not to say it never works. But the reason bunting is at the lowest level in recorded history is because we are in the greatest information era in the history of the game, where we know circumstantially what works and what happens, and it's why you see shifts and how you pitch the bat. It's like, they know. The sabermetrics guys know, and they all know bunting doesn't work as much as it fails. It fails more often than it works because mathematically giving up an out lessens your chance of getting a run home.
I'll say this too, like it's never worked on anymore. Like nobody works on bunting.
Shouldn't. Don't do it. All right, if you got questions for us, let's do it. Ask us. It's more like, do we do Ask Us or do Ask Ryan? I don't remember for this.
We do Ask Us.
Okay, so if you can ask us anything about anything, fire away. Stephen Miller, Keith Duplessis, Gary Dewey, what's up, y'all? Kirk Taylor, hi. Here into the Tony Lightfoot is watching.
Tony.
Oh, Tony from Dutchtown.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Oh, we've never gotten this one before. Shelby says, ask us best Zambrano story. Do you think he's doing it just on purpose?
Maybe, but I did tell one the other day to my high school guys when he got ejected and he threw 2 or 3 balls from home plate over the center field wall in the middle of the game.
I don't believe that.
It happened.
Don't believe it. There's no way.
There's no way that he threw the ball that far? Or there's no way? Oh, no, there's a way.
From home plate, dead center. What's dead center, Wrigley? 405?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
Kirk Taylor, dirtiest player you ever played against. And do you think Nets foul pole to foul pole ruins baseball?
I think foul pole to foul pole is a little much. Ruin baseball? No, I don't think it ruins it. But I understand the safety stuff. And from a player standpoint, man, you don't want to be responsible for hitting somebody and whatever. So I don't think it ruins it.
It does not ruin baseball. That's a horrible overreaction. You absolutely do the thing that's going to make the game safer for people, because even if one foul ball, God forbid, killed somebody, it's worth having nets foul pole to foul pole. Now, here's the other part of it that no one has talked about, at least not that I've heard. It affects pop fouls.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how many times you see a guy go to the wall and make a play? Well, guess what? Now that's over the net. Like, what percentage of plays that you'd normally make in foul ground are now no longer made because of the net?
So this is a rule that's going to be enforced at every ballpark?
Not determined yet. What about the Jeter play going into the stands?
Never happens. Bregman did it a couple years ago.
Yeah, never happens. No, that's true. Busted up his eye. Let's see. Ask us. Braves against Yankees in the World Series this year. Who wins?
Man, I really like the Braves. My MVP, man, Dansby Swanson. The Braves.
How's that going?
I don't know. How's his stats? Is he bad? I love the Braves, though.
They're really good,
They're a fun team to watch.
You put me on Albies a few years ago, and it was like, God.
Oh, he's special. And he's a little guy.
He's tiny.
Yeah, but big thump.
Yeah,
like
crazy.
Fontenot type.
Yeah.
Thump.
Why is Will Rapole leaving LSU? Any insights from Scott Pritchard?
That's a good question. I think you and I talked about that yesterday. He got some innings, and I his numbers weren't bad. I don't know. There may have been something else there. Maybe he had more opportunities, or there just wasn't really a spot for him in the pen. He got some big arms coming in, so I don't know. But it is kind of odd. I was surprised when I saw his name on one of the guys that were going.
Ask us getting a Zion jersey?
No,
answer.
I won't. I won't get a jersey.
I don't do jerseys.
Yeah,
sorry.
me neither.
Ask us. Pretty sure Terrio has a daiquiri cup.
It's not. No, it's Sonic.
Okay.
It's my spit cup. But I don't have a dip in, so this is like a just in case type thing.
Josh Nuccio said Michael Barrett punched AJ Brzezinski.
He did. I was there. It was great.
You were there?
Yeah, in the middle of the game. Absolutely. Then AJ came to the Florida game with me the following year and then harassed the whole student section and almost got beat up at bogeys.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
See, that's a good story.
I had to escort him out of bogeys because he was talking trash to all the fans.
He's a big guy.
He's a giant.
Bunch of college students at bogeys? I mean, he could take them. I asked Ryan, off the rack or tailored suits?
I'm not opposed to off the rack. I have a couple. Most of my suits are tailored.
Ask us, do the Pels trade Ball before the trade? I guess it's probably before the draft. I'm going to say no.
I don't think so.
I'm going to say they're going to keep Ball, but I do think they are actively looking to move that number 4 pick. If people say, "Oh, trade the pick," that's fine. But what do you get for it? Like, the whole is greater than the sum of the parts, and you've got to get requisite value for it. You don't trade it just because. And if nobody's picking up the phone or giving you something that's worth it, then you make the pick.
I saw they were trying to look like they were talking about them moving up to the 2. Is that real news or is that?
I don't know how you do it.
Yeah.
But if you can do it, do it.
Yeah.
Ask us, Miller Lite versus Bud Light.
If I have the choice between those two, I'm probably going Bud Light.
Let's see. Ask us. Trying to scroll. Excuse me. See, that's a good point. Why would Aaron Nola be batting in a key situation top of the ninth to begin with?
Yeah, it is.
So back to ours. But we're playing out the hypothetical.
Yeah, but he's right.
We're playing out the hypothetical. Who does Ryan root for when the Cardinals and Cubs play? You got in trouble with this one once before. Paul, we're going to cut up this clip. We're going to send it to every radio station in St. Louis and in Chicago when he answers.
I generally, like in that situation, I'm rooting for whichever one has the best team. So right now it's Chicago. But I would root for San Francisco over all of them right now.
Why?
Just
Brandon
Crawford and
you got guys.
Boch and
Bochy's last year?
Bumgarner. And
we don't have to talk about that guy. We should get Bochy on the show.
We could. He's great.
Yeah.
Oh, he's good.
All right. You ready?
Yeah, man.
All right.
It's good.
Paul O'Neill, thanks so much. The Riot Podcast, normally Tuesdays, noon Central Time. Remember, if you want to sponsor or know someone who does, holler at us.
If you want your business to be worth $gajillion, because we talk about it, then you should holler at us and let us sponsor, because that's what we do, is we make businesses very, very successful when we talk about them.
So email me, Matt at 1045ESPN.com. We'll see you next week.